Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. This segment, I'd like to focus on a nonprofit organization that was formed by the Greer family in 2007. I'm being joined by Dr. Lanetta Greer, who is the director of Home for the Heart, Inc. She has a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in social work from Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri, and her doctorate is from University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Charles Greer serves as the manager of Home for the Heart, Inc. He has a bachelor's degree in sociology and a master's in social work from the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. He was recently appointed to the State of Wisconsin Juvenile Justice Commission by Governor Tony Evers. How are you guys doing today?
We are
Hi, how you
doing
doing?
wonderful.
I'm glad to have you here. And really, I'd like for you to help our viewers better understand the mission of Home for the Heart, Inc. and what it is you do to help young ladies on a daily basis.
The mission of Home for the Heart is to provide stable housing to teenage girls between the ages of 12 to 19. We work with girls from several counties, Milwaukee County, Dane County, Racine County, and throughout. And we provide services to them in the following areas: education, employment, mental health, budgeting and finance, and then learning about different community resources. Our girls come from us with a variety of different trauma histories and backgrounds and family struggles. And we just work with them to help them cope and to help them learn the skills that they need to either be reunified with their biological family, go into a supervised independent living program, which they'll actually have their own apartment, or even go into a college dorm and attend college. So we just meet each individual girl where they're at and try to help prepare them for whatever that long-term goal is.
Okay, so are they referred to your home there to take in some of these programs and services that you offer to get them prepared to move on in life?
Yes, we have a contract with Wraparound Milwaukee, CSSW, and St. A, as well as Dane County and some of the other counties throughout Wisconsin. And they make referrals to us and just give us kind of a snapshot of the child's needs and their history. And then we go from there and make the decision on if it would be a good fit for our program.
Okay, and Charles, if you could, I did mention that your brother and sister, and this home is in the Sherman Park neighborhood.
Yes.
And this is where you guys grew up. So talk about the importance of actually putting this together and providing these services for young people here in our community.
Sure, Andrea. Let me just add to what my sister said. With all those surrounding counties and with Milwaukee, all of the girls that we get placed with us are connected to the child welfare system.
Mhm.
So they all are part of the child welfare system, whatever county they come from.
Okay.
So we're very proud members of the Sherman Park community. We're born and bred and raised there. I think it's important that when we started our first home, the house actually we grew up in, when our father died in 2006, we didn't want to sell our home. So at the time, I was working in management in the Milwaukee County Child Welfare System. And I told my sister, hey, they're looking for child placements for teen girls. And I thought my sister would be excellent for that and an excellent role model because we come right from the community and she's a young African-American female who is highly educated. And I just thought she would be great for that type of situation. So we started our first house is the house we actually grew up in. So we thought it was important that we had these homes in the community where we grew up because we always want to support family structure, and we feel like strong families equal strong communities. So that's why we wanted our sites to be where we grew up at.
Makes a lot of sense. And together, you guys have combined skills as a psychotherapist, youth counselor, social worker, and family life educator. It goes on, but you use those skills to provide guidance to your residents there. And so it's really important when you talk about the mental health and just really preparing these young ladies to go out into the world, because so many times you look at kids who age out of foster care, they've never had someone really teach them life skills, how to open a bank account, how to save money, none of those things. And looking at the list of things that, you guys have told us about, those are a part of your agenda. So, Dr. Greer, you actually released a book last year titled Aged Out: Narratives of Young Women Who Grew Up in Out of Home Care. Talk a little bit about that book and why it was important for you to write that.
It was important for me to write that book because as I was going through my dissertation program at UW-Milwaukee, and thinking about a topic for my dissertation, I was working with the girls closely at Home for the Heart, and I was having certain questions about their family history and just kind of their whole process and how they got into this situation and what their life has been like. Mm-hmm. And that opened me up to wanting to interview young women. And unfortunately, I couldn't interview my girls, but I did have girls that I was connected to through other girls that I could interview. And I learned about their family history, traumas that they experienced, separation from their siblings, and what that felt like when they got into out-of-home care. And just the number of changes in placement that they had even prior to getting to me, and how that impacted them on trusting adults. So I was hearing kind of some of this from my girls, and that made me really interested in the topic itself and just what is the totality of what kids experience when they're placed in out-of-home care. And it was just remarkable, some of the things that I learned about separating from their siblings and what that felt like, and still being disconnected from their siblings, placement changes, some over 30 changes, and just kind of some of the wonderful bonds that they had with caregivers and significant placements and why those placements were important to them. So it was really a learning experience for me to really try to tie dots together and say, how can I help my girls, now future girls, even more? What insights can I take with me now to Home for the Heart to work better with my girls?
Makes a lot of sense. I love that. And Charles, I mentioned earlier that you were appointed by Governor Tony Evers to the State of Wisconsin Juvenile Justice Commission. And in 2018, lawmakers and former Governor Scott Walker, they had set a deadline to close state-run prisons by July 2021 for young people. So I'm guessing that there's some conversation going on with the commission on how to move forward, but I'm guessing that deadline is probably a little off from that.
We're having ongoing meetings, and let me first say that I'm enjoying being on this commission board. There's so many wonderful people a part of it. Everybody comes from a different perspective, different professional background, but the most important thing is the reform part of it. Looking at what's working and what's not working. What's not working, let's get rid of it, and we're able to troubleshoot and come up with great new ideas.
I love that. So just so we don't run out of time, Governor Evers, his proposed state budget, it includes an overhaul to the state's criminal justice system. He wants to take a multifaceted approach to the issues and concerns, such as repealing the serious juvenile offender program. And then, of course, there's all of the other issues that were taking place that continue to take place at Lincoln Hills and Copper Lake Youth Prison. So the commission is in talks, and these are early talks on dealing with all of this. And of course, we'll keep our eye on these proposals.
Most definitely.
All right. Well, I thank you both so much for coming on and sharing information, not only about your facility that is helping change lives of young women who live here in our community, but also just caring enough to go back into the neighborhood where you grew up to help those who are there. So thank you both for sharing your expertise with us today. It has been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you for having us, Andrea.
Thank you so much for having us.
Always a pleasure. Dr. Lanetta Greer is the director of Home for the Heart, and Charles Greer serves as the manager there. For more information, you can visit their website at homefortheheartinc.com. And that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at our issues, Milwaukee. Have a great day.